Hi, Nell.
Hi, Elle.
How are you doing today?
I am great. Just tired from work, but I'm happy.
Awesome, awesome. It's lovely to get a chance to talk to you. I know the day's been busy, and
Hmm.
yeah, the pandemic's making a lot of differences in our lives and the way we work. So I really appreciate you making time to have this conversation.
No problem at all.
Awesome. So, on our shoulders, we have a series called Raising Rins. Of course, you know about that. And here uh, we talk to each other, family members that are living with siblings, children that are differently abled, and we talk about some of the challenges that we face and some of the joys.
Hmm.
So today we're going to be talking to now you, and we're going to be talking about your brother Gift.
Yes,
On
exciting.
exciting, yeah. So it's lovely, and I do thank you for choosing to open up about gifts so that we can learn from each other and motivate each other through the
Hmm.
journey.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna because and I know a lot of people are gonna be listening to what you would say from a sister's point of view. So Gift is your brother and who's a special brother
Yes,
uh, living with cerebral palsy. So, Sarah,
yes.
can you just tell me a little bit about Gift?
So, he is 36 at the moment.
Oh, oh,
Yes, he's
awesome.
he's grown. He's still the baby of the house, but he's
Oh,
36. He's a cheerful, gentle soul. Um, he is not aggressive.
yeah.
He pretty much wakes up every morning, comes downstairs, knows that it's time to eat. Once he's done eating, he goes back upstairs, watches some TV, and when it's lunchtime, he comes down. He has his own internal clock, but he's actually a really sweet man to live with because he has his own routine and he sticks to it. And he's quite stress free.
That's lovely to hear. That's lovely to hear. That's a lot of the things we hear about uh, uh, special kids,
Yeah.
and they have their own routines, they have their own internal clock that kind of does a reminder on what they should do at every point in time, kind of creatures of habit, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, but I really like that you emphasize on the fact that he's sweet and he has his own timing for what he does every day, and he pretty much seems to be a happy man at the moment.
Yes, he doesn't speak. He makes sounds when he needs to, but he's so I guess you would call him non-communicative.
I see.
But he is a happy man.
Awesome. Awesome. So a lot of people that are going to be listening to you want to get tips on a lot of coping mechanisms, which we're going to be talking about today.
Hmm.
So I want to just start off by talking about some of the challenges that family members face from a sibling point of view, because a lot of times we talk about the children themselves or the people living with this special abilities themselves, but we
Hmm.
forget to talk about the family members. So from a
Hmm.
sibling point of view, what do you think were the biggest challenges you faced as a sister growing up?
Okay. Um, I guess maybe around the age of, let's see, 7, I would say.
Hmm.
I realized my brother was different. Um, each of us, I come from a big home. Each of us had still on who was going to bathe him, who was going to feed him. He's also not potty trained, and who would change him at different intervals during the day. So over time, I realized, okay, something's wrong, and he had his own special caregiver that stayed with him throughout the whole day. So as a child growing up with him, I quickly realized he was different. And my parents made that apparent by making sure he got special treatment from us. He wasn't to be yelled at, or siblings at that younger age, under 10. Sometimes you have arguments and have little cat fights, and he wasn't part of that. So you grow up and then you realize, my brother is different. And it was a little hard when situations like my friends came over to play, or
Yeah.
the neighbors' kids came over to play, and if it was my turn to look after Gift, they would have to either join me in the house to help him, or he'll come along outside. So
Hmm.
as we grew, um, and these things happened, um, I wouldn't necessarily call it a challenge. I guess it was a challenge with friends that didn't understand. So
Yes.
if people didn't understand what it meant to grow up with a special needs kid, then you'd have some friends who slither away. You notice they don't come around because they didn't want to deal with such situations.
Hmm.
So it wasn't a challenge to me, but I guess emotionally it was hurtful sometimes when you notice friends just disappear at that age. Um,
Yeah.
I'm not sure how far into my childhood you'd want me to go, but um,
Yeah.
uh, yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate you being as open
Mhm.
as you have been at this point, and it's all up to you right now.
Mhm.
I really appreciate the fact that you mentioned that your parents did quite some work integrating the other kids in
Mhm.
interacting with your brother, uh,
Mhm.
Gift, which is a
Mhm.
big deal for a lot of parents because some
Mhm.
just don't talk about it to the kids. And some kids or siblings are left to just figure things out on their own and don't really get to interact a lot with their differently abled siblings. So I'm glad you pointed that out.
Mhm.
You did mention something though about playtime and having people over as a kid,
Mhm. Mhm.
and the, for lack of a better word, awkwardness that it would have caused, especially with people who didn't understand or appreciate the circumstances in your home. I
Mhm.
want to talk about that a little bit because that's something that's deep rooted in a lot of homes, especially
Mhm.
with children, where they may not have a lot of play dates or friends come over, or just may not have friends that completely understand. And I really want to know a little bit about what that was like to you, and
Mhm.
then what how we can help other people mitigate that. What would you like to say to people who have friends that live in such situations in terms of relationships?
Um, I think educating some friends, but it
Mm-hmm.
also depends on the person's willingness to want to learn.
Right.
At different ages and stages of our lives, our maturity level is not always the best. So, a 10-year-old friend, a 16-year-old friend, or a 25-year-old friend, a 35-year-old friend would act differently at different times of your life.
Right.
So even educating them depends on how the person receives that education.
Hmm.
Um, I'll give a scenario of examples of, I had to play outside with a couple friends, and at that moment, say Gift had had an I don't know what to call it, an accident, like number
Yeah.
2 in his
Right.
pants.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be like, okay, I'll be back. Hold the
Yeah.
game or pause. I need to go change him.
Right.
And I remember a situation where after changing him, I came back and one of the girls was like, "Oh, your hand smells."